Okay, systems of linear inequalities. All right, let's look at this system here, which we talked about these yesterday, right? I need to graph that. That's my first step. So where's x is greater than or equal to 0? It's the what? Which one? What's that called, Jesus? Thank you. Okay, so that's x greater than or equal to 0. X plus 3y is less than or equal to 18. Okay. And what's this one become? So you're dividing by a negative here. When you divide that -2 over, you flip the sign. All right, so that's, let's shade the region. Okay, so we've shaded the region, right? We've graphed the system, check. Okay, what are the vertices? Yeah. 0, 1, 0, 6. How do we know what that one is? Solve this system. Let's multiply this one by 3 and this one by 2. Get rid of the fractions. Yep. Okay, so we got rid of the fractions, yeah? Can you read it? You know, it doesn't matter actually. There we go. All right. So if I add these, I get 5y equals 20, y equals 4, plug it in, x equals 6, I believe, right? So you probably could have guessed that graphically, right? But again, you can't guarantee that. You can't guarantee that every time, so be careful. How what? I took 4 and I plugged it into that and solved in my head. Yeah, I know. Yeah, well, I'm a math teacher. It comes with the territory. You be quiet. Okay, what shape is that? It's a triangle. What's the area? So the base is 5. And what's the height? 6. Okay, so we're just following directions here. Are you two chit-chatting or paying attention? Yeah, I do know. That's why I said something. I'm sure you are. All right. We're good on area of that. Are we good on the area of that shape? Okay, what about the perimeter? That's one way to do it. All right, so I'm just going to label them A, B, and C. We know the length of A, right? 5. B is, Logan, the distance formula from here to here. Make sure my math is right. Make sure your math is right too. How we doing? Tylynn's having fun. Let's just have a math class techno. A? Oh, A is 5. Because we know that. It's a vertical line. Okay, we're all good on the distance formula there. So what's the perimeter? It's 5 plus root 40 plus root 45 units. You do not have to change it into decimals. You can be lazy on this one. If you want to, okay, fine. All my answers are in square roots, so just leave it. Get used to working with it that way. Do you guys remember how to simplify square roots? Anybody? $40 is 4 times 10, right? What's the square root of 4? 2. So this is actually going to be 2 root 10. And 45, we can split into what? 9 times 5? We're looking for a number with a perfect square root. So it's 3 root 5. All right, that right there is our perfect perimeter answer. And we have an area that was really nice to calculate. I'm not having any trouble with it. Okay. Are you guys with me?
Yeah.
Because I'm moving fast. I know it.
So when you simplify a square root, you have to break it into numbers that one has to.
Yep, you got it. Okay. This is where we get to the meat of today. Part E, sketch the solid form by revolving the region around the y-axis on the graph in part A and describe the solid formed. So you have some visual exercise. Okay, y-axis, right? Yeah? How do the first thing I need to do is reflect it around that y-axis. So I'm going to come over here 6 spots. I'm going to go to -6. And draw a new triangle so that it's a mirror image. And then I'm going to connect significant points. So I'm going to make it look three-dimensional by just doing a kind of an arc here. All right, so now what does it look like? Okay, if I have revolved that around the axis, describe that shape for me. Yeah, it's a top. Mathematically, how would you describe that? It's a kite if it's two-dimensional. With three-dimensional shapes. So what shape's on top? A cone on the bottom? Okay, so how would you describe that? It's a cone on top of another cone that's flipped upside down, so you can describe it here. And I will write down actually the perfect answer that I have on my sheet, just so you see that. Okay, something of that nature. It's two cones, one's upside down, they're joined at the base. Okay, volume. Anybody remember the volume of a cone, the formula? I'm listening.
Volume is 1/3 the volume of the cylinder.
Anybody? What's the shape of the bottom? What's that formula? 1/3 pi r squared times the height. We have a top and a bottom, right? That are different sizes. Yep. What's the radius of the top cone? It's from here to here. 6. And the height of that cone? 2 is correct. Radius. Here's the bottom of it. Height. And then the bottom one, same radius. What's the height of the bottom cone? No, they're not the same. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, 3. 1, 2, 3. Because this is 5 tall. That one's 2, that one's 3. Okay. Volume, volume, volume. Six squared is 36, divided by 3 is 12 times 2, 24 pi. Just leave pi. And 36 pi. Cubic units. Now we add them together and get 60 pi. Huh? Not soon enough. Hey, hey, watch it. Only I'm allowed to say that. Okay, are we good on volume? That's disturbing. Jesus is really good on it. Did we stay up too late last night partying at the bonfire?
We did.
I figured that.
Not.
Okay, surface area. For the surface area of this shape, do we need a cone? That's the formula for cone surface area. Plus pi r squared plus pi RL. But do we need the base of each cone? Well, which is it, boys?
No, because I'm saying.
Yeah, it's not exposed, so we don't need this. Okay, all we need is the top pi RL and the bottom. Does anybody remember what L stands for? Yeah, slant height. Right, so the top is pi times radius, and what's this slant height? It's that one of those roots. It's b, because we already did the distance formula. 2 root 10. And the bottom is pi times 6 times the slant height of 3 root 5. So we get our 2 numbers. Lots of ugliness in there, yes, I know. But you got to get used to saying it like that.
So that right there. In the real world, would we translate that to a decimal? Yes, we would, because if we want to paint something, it doesn't come in terms of pi. But here we're just going to leave it as is. Okay. So are we crystal clear as mud? Okay. Number 2. You have 10 minutes.
How many minutes?
10. It's an easier shape.